Okay, hello everyone. It is PCT day 47. We are in Mojave, California. We are still at the Motel 6. Let's see. I think I told you guys yesterday, we got a hitch in here. Yesterday, we're kind of trying to avoid the heat in the next section with the aqueduct and the wind farm, and everyone we talked to that's been through it says it's really bad. We have a person that went through it, or a couple people that we have their number that went through it last night, said the same thing, said it's crazy hot. They hiked it at night, and now they're just hiding out today under a tree pretty much all day in 97-degree weather, and it's supposed to be hot again tomorrow as well. So, a couple of things. One, we're strongly considering just skipping that section. It's about a 30-40 mile section through there, and going right up to the trail near Tehachapi on the highway. We looked, and there's a bus from here we can take that'll take us right to the trailhead. We're also going to take not just today as zero, but one more day as zero, because tomorrow is supposed to be in the 90s, and then the next day is going to be down. I think that's Friday. I don't know for sure what day it is, the week it is. You just lose that out here. But 2 days from now, we'll head back to trail. It's supposed to be 78, and it's supposed to be windy. So that's what we're going to do, is skip that 40-mile or so section. Now, up until now, I've been very much like I want to do every single open mile of the trail. That's kind of always been my plan. That's what we've done, besides the trail closures and stuff like that. And I'd want to continue that. Okay, so there's a couple factors that have come into our decision-making process. So the plan from day one, I don't know that I've ever mentioned those, but was for me and Dad to return in July, because or come off trail in July, because my birthday and my oldest son Alice's birthday, and take a couple weeks off trail before coming back. That's kind of always been the plan, and then we come back and see where we're at and kind of finish. When we started, or we got about 10 or 15 days in, we kind of looked at the mileage and what we were doing, and we said we'll have to reevaluate in July, just because the amount of miles we're doing does not equal up to be done. Dad needs to be done before October, when he's got some hunts coming up. So our timetable for being done was late October, November, based on our speed. And we knew it would change and increase as we got our trail legs. But as we've gone along, we haven't been able to average much more than 12, 13 miles a day. And realistically, I don't know how much more Dad could do than that, which is fantastic. It's still really good, but just realistically going forward. So we talked about, when we go home in July, reevaluating that whole scenario and kind of seeing where we're at as far as coming back. And Dad would decide, did it serve me better if he stayed and I went back and finished whatever we didn't finish in California? Did it serve us to skip Oregon, because I've already done Oregon and he could always do it later, and it's not as big a deal to him to have continuous footsteps, and then he could come and do Washington, or I could do Washington. So we've talked about July kind of being this linchpin turning point, and we kind of decide from there after July what we wanted to do, depending on where we finished before. So anyway, sorry about that. Trying to find a good shady spot away from everyone's motel's not easy. What was I saying? Oh, July. So that was kind of like a linchpin for when we were gonna, what we were gonna do from there. In between that, like a couple of weeks ago now, my grandma, who's in a care facility, took a fall and broke her arm and her sternum, and she's been on oxygen and doing rehab, and Dad's been really concerned about being here should he go home and help out and be there kind of to support her. So that's kind of been on his mind for a while now, if he wants to do that. And so we kept talking about, well, if you can just stay till July, like our plan was, we can at least mileage wise get to Kennedy Meadows, which is a big deal for both of us to get to Kennedy Meadows, and then from Kennedy Meadows into the Sierras. And Sierra's only like 300 or so, 350 miles past Kennedy Meadows, and we're only like 150 or so away from Kennedy Meadows now. So anyway, we get through there, we get to Mount Whitney, hike to the top of that, which is a big bucket list thing, get through Yosemite, all before July, and we have to go back. and we just kind of reevaluate the situation in July. And it sounded like more and more like he would want to stay in July because of the grandma situation and whatever. And the more and more I've thought about it, hiking on without him and coming back in California, there's a couple of factors, but one of them is I've enjoyed being with him so much and doing this with him that the idea of kind of doing a long hike, or the amount I'd have left, because still have like 700 miles left in California to do and 500 miles left in Washington to do. And now that I've kind of done, I've always wanted to do the whole thing, and now that I've kind of done this, I've done all of Oregon, and I was pleased with that, and I've done this with him. Like, I don't really have I want to do those things in the Sierras, but I don't really have the same drive to get through Washington, at least not now, some point down the line maybe, or Northern California, which a lot of people don't have much great to say about that area too. And the desert's been, to me, I mean, fun to be with Dad, but very forgettable in a lot of ways. Glad it's behind us. I don't know why people would do it again. There's been some key really nice moments, but overall just the same looking thing, and hot, and water carries, and I don't know, lots of unnecessary ups and downs and whatever. So basically, if Northern California's the same way. So it's kind of changed my perspective to have Dad out here, because it's so much more fun to me to be doing it with him and experiencing the stuff with him. The idea of coming back on trail after July doesn't appeal as more. If we can hit those other things, we can hit the Sierras, Kennedy Meadows, Whitney, those big milestones, the other stuff just doesn't appeal as much as it once did. So anyway, the other factor to the whole decision too is just being away from Megan and the boys. I knew going in, I'd done Oregon and been away from them for like 25, 30 days, and that was tough. And my mindset was, I was worried beforehand, like being gone for 30 days, like, is it going to be this weird feeling when I get back, and the kid's going to feel like I abandoned them or whatever? And they were fine. Like, when I got back, it was Dad, and we're good, and everything was fine. So I had this mentality that was like, oh, it'll just be the same thing again, and it'll suck while I'm out there, and I'll miss them, but they'll bounce right back. And I'm sure they will, but there's a big difference between 30 days and now what's going to be closer to 100 days. And just seeing the updates as we Skype, and my youngest son Phoenix, how much bigger he's getting, the vocabulary, just this time in their life, like missing that stuff. Not that I didn't know that before, but just like, once again, seeing it firsthand, feeling it firsthand, and just all the other factors kind of combined. I don't want to be away from them for longer. I'm satisfied with this chapter of the PCT. I'm satisfied. We still have a ton of miles left. For those of you who are watching who are like, oh no, oh my gosh, what's going on? Don't do this. I'm sorry if that's a disappointment that we're not doing the whole thing, but there's still a ton of videos. We're only halfway through this thing, and I don't know, this is like 47, so you're going to get 80 something videos at least. And my adventuring days are far from done. My YouTube days are far from done. And maybe someday I'll come back and pick up some of these miles or do some of that stuff. So don't stress about that. There's still plenty of content. We're going to see some amazing things, some of the best things you're going to see on trail. We're still continuing to do that. But just being away from them. And also, we have a lot of plans going forward with the website and our adventures as a family. So that's coming up at the end of this year. We're going to start doing some stuff, and definitely all of next year. And so that gives us more time to prep. If I'm not, because we were worried about if I'm not home till October, does it give us enough time to prep and kind of get things ready for this next big transition in our life, which we'll reveal down the line. But it just sets us up better. Megan doesn't have to do so much of the prep work and legwork for that, because I'll be back for a lot of that stuff. So, and gear up and be excited for that. Plus, there's a ton of other stuff I want to do on this channel. Gear videos, go through what's in my pack, some live Q&As or something with all the people that have supported. I hope you stay with me. I hope this isn't, too disappointing that we're not doing every single mile and skipping this section. I hope it's not too disappointing that we're not going through with the whole thing. I don't know what the future will hold as far as that, but I'm very content with like closing this chapter on it if we can do these last things, like Kennedy Meadows, Yosemite, walking in there, Whitney, going through the Sierras. I want to go through as much of that as possible, and I think timetable wise we can make that happen and still get back in July as planned, and then have that kind of be for good. So that makes me be more okay with skipping this section. Normally I say we got to do it, so let's just wait till it cools off. But the combination of probably most likely not going to be doing every single mile of it this year anyway, probably wouldn't have had time to do Oregon anyway, at the pace with Dad, even if Dad stayed on trail, even with all these other factors not coming up, our just pace doesn't make sense for it. It's not Dad's thing. Like, he loves doing it with me, but like he said, he'd never do the desert again. So we could be more section specific about stuff we did. We even talked about possibly, Atlas has been real interested, my oldest, interested in getting out and doing some hiking. When do I get to go? So doing some small little test hikes, and if he likes it, possibly doing larger sections in Oregon with me, Dad, and him, like a 3-generation thing. I thought that'd be super cool. And do a little series on here of some 3 generations out there hiking through Oregon, because there's some spots in Oregon Dad would like to do. So yeah, I hope people aren't too disappointed by this, but we're very pleased with it. Like, we feel like it's the right plan. It gets him home for helping with Grandma. He's satisfied with getting through where we're getting through. I'm satisfied with getting through where we're going to get through. I've enjoyed making the videos. I'm going to continue making the videos. There's, like I said, a ton of content still to come out. Please don't jump ship on me here. It's just what's right for my life right now, and what's going on. And they always say hike your own hike, and like, this is our hike, and we've met some fabulous people, and there are a lot of reasons why it'd be fun to continue, but there's a whole lot more reasons why wrapping it up here make a whole lot more sense just for everyone involved, and that I just don't, now that I've done it with Dad, I don't have the same passion of doing it by myself. Like, he's changed it. He's changed my whole mindset of what this could be in such a positive way, that it's like I want to spend the time and do more things with him, but it doesn't have to be this exact, it can be different. And I'm grateful for all this. I wouldn't change any of it for the world. I'd go right back to Campo and tell myself to go right back to Campo and start the whole process again and do everything again if I hadn't done it. So I don't regret any of what we've done. So yeah, that's the plan going forward. I'm not sure exactly what I'll film tomorrow, because we're having another 0 day and we're just going to relax. But there's tons more content to come on the other side of this break, so stay with us on that. I'm hopeful that you guys aren't too disappointed by all this, and that it can continue to be entertaining. So thanks for watching. As always, thanks for all your support, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.